Welcome to Online Resource. In this video I'm going to show you how to install SSRS 2014, also how to configure it once it installed its reporting services. Just to give you a brief background, there are two nodes that you can install SSRS. One is native mode and other is shared mode. One is install SSRS in shared mode. It does create the interfaces between SharePoint application and in report server. So SharePoint admin can manage the manage the reporting and share. So let's install SSRS right now in the configure it. I'm going to use the same media as I use for the before installation. I double click on that, double click on setup. Click on installation. Since I have installed SQL Server already on this laptop, so what I'm going to do is click on new SQL Server install and on installation or add feature and existing installation. Since SSRS in this feature, we're going to install on install and server. Click on that. It's going to go through some setup file before let us choose what we're going to install. So click next. Click next. We're going to use existing SQL Server 2014, so I am going to click on add feature existing of SQL Server 2014. Click next. As you can see, there are feature already installed and on this laptop, and so I'm going to choose reporting services in native mode. If you notice right here, there are a couple of options for reporting services: SharePoint mode, reporting services in head. We're going to install it native mode, so select that, select the checkbox and click next. This is the reporting services account. If you are connected with domain and you have service account for reporting services, you can use it right now. You can change it later. Since I am not gonna active any domain, and I'm not connected to any domain, so I keep as it is. Click next. We have an option here, install and configure reporting services, and the same time and install only. I'm going to click on install only because in just a little bit after solution. So click next. This is the summary. Let me tell you what we installed and what are going to be installed. So I am going to click on install. The installation take 5 to 10 minutes. I am going to pause the video. Once the installation complete, I'll come back to that, and if I quite face any issues, I will back with that issues. Okay, as you can see, reporting services in native mode has been installed successfully. So I will next step is how to configure reporting services, can use the reporting services. So once I close that and you can go to configuration file and open the report server configuration. I will open that. Click on SQL Server 2014 reporting services. As you can see, the first thing is that ask you that why do you install the reporting services and what is the SQL Server to use SQL Server 2014. services. First one is machine name, and second name is access name, instance name. We're gonna connect that. You can see the summary up here. Next, service account. If you do have a service account, you can change it right now. Since I'm not connecting any domain, I will keep that account as it is. It is built-in account, which is this. You can use another account right here. Even if you're not gonna active any domain, you just administrator this machine, you can use that. This is the account that is going to run the services on reporting services. So I'm gonna keep it at the same way. Web service URL, this is going to be the default web service URL, so you can go ahead and change that if you want to. You can rename that right now. I'm gonna keep it the same way. You can do it whatever your environment, your checklist. I will go ahead with this and click apply. Whenever you make any changes and configuration, please don't forget to apply, otherwise it does not take it that. This is the URL. If you are using any application that is going to use report server, this is the URL that your application developer, or you can put the application in config file. You are right here, and you are connect with the reporting services. So our next thing is database configuration. This configuration is going to create couple databases when the report server and other reports 10. So you need to give the instance you want to create these databases. Click on the change database. Since I don't have databases already, I'm going to create a new one. If you already have, you can choose the second option. So go ahead, click next. Here it will ask you the SQL Server instance name. It is my instance. You can change authentication type as a current user, or you can use SQL Server account test connection succeeded. You can proceed further. Click next. This is the database name. You can change the database name. Let's say you are doing the development, you can put the name _dev. You can change the name. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it default. And if you know the report server mode is native, click next. Well, this says the database report server already exists. So how I'm going to use is go ahead and you put the name _dev. Click next. This database also exists. So so dev0, put the name, different name. Click next. Okay. Here is the service credential. We need to choose server credential. What does mean that account that's running for server, so report services, that it's consider service, that account service account. So you're gonna use that account. So to create these databases, you have an option, click, and that's Windows credential, SQL Server credential. So you can choose use your account for use. It should have to machine create the databases SQL Server side. So I am going to keep it service credential. Click next. This is the summary. So click next. Going to create those two databases on SQL Server side. Click finish. If you see, this is the database integrations, configuration, summary, reporting services. Go ahead report manager URL. This is the by default URL that you create. You can change this as well, so click and apply. So report manager URL successful. Click on email setting. If you want to just use email SMT, fill your information right here, but I am gonna leave it that empty. I don't have it. So execution account, if you are installing reporting services in dev account, instead of changing of data sources on the report server after the installation configuration manually, if you want to use always execute those data sources, you can specify here. I am not going to do that. I am not going to encryption key. It's very important. It's always monitor the backup, because encryption key holds the all the credential information. So I would recommend every DBA in the working environment, if your branding month, however your credential is, or with change management it is, you can backup your key. So I am going to go ahead and backup my key. You need to keep a location. Please keep the location, but please keep this location different. Central repository. Since I don't have central repository, I always choose give this key demo reporting server key. I am going to put that here, and keep the password. This is the password that is need to give you restore the key. So make sure that you remember the password must be credential. Click OK. Scale out deployment. If you wanted to get other SQL reporting services instances, you can add those services here. This will let you do all the scale out reporting services. Does report scale out deployment. It's not clusterware, but if you do the clusterware, but our configuration is full complete. Let's see is it working or not, and then we're gonna go back to the configuration. So URL is working fine. To check our URL is working fine or not, I am going to go back to reporting server manager. Click on here. It is click connect, and up here this is the web URL. Just give you the report server URL. This is the name of URL that you wanted to click on that and see it's working fine. First time when reporting services start, it takes a little bit time. If you have beefy server, it shouldn't take the long. As you can see, the home tab here up here, reporting services has been installed and configured successfully. So that's it for this video. I hope it helps. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you have any confusion, please must comment. Thank you very much.